Hey, GSA, good morning. Happy Wednesday. We have so much to celebrate today. And one of the things that we have to celebrate is the amazing slate of guest presenters and guests that we have this morning and as we enter our last couple days of the program for the Governor's School for the Arts. So you all might remember back in our opening ceremony, I stated that the importance of artists in Kentucky is enshrined even in the highest offices of our state. And as far as I'm aware, the Governor's School for the Arts is the only tuition-free, art-specific program of its kind in the entire nation. So that's a really big deal, but it's no coincidence that Kentucky is where that is a fact, that Kentucky is the place where we have the only tuition-free arts-focused program of its kind. And that's because artists, cultural bearers, creative folks have always been an instrumental part of the fabric of our Commonwealth. So you are the future of that legacy, and today's guests have joined us to emphasize just how valued and celebrated you are. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, GSA is a program of both Kentucky Performing Arts and of the Tourism Arts and Heritage Cabinet. So nearly half of our program budget is supported by state appropriations, meaning none of us would be here experiencing GSA today without the support of the folks who have joined us this morning. So first off, it's my honor to introduce the leader of the Tourism Arts and Heritage Cabinet, Mike Berry. Welcome, Secretary Berry.
Thank you, Nick. Hi, everybody. I've seen several of you all over the last few days as I've joined you virtually for some of your classes. Congratulations. I went from treading the boards as an actor to somebody who's serving on boards, and I know the importance of arts and culture here in the Commonwealth. My big job today is to introduce the governor, and I hope I don't mess it up. He is somebody who promotes tourism, arts, heritage through a very dynamic program in our Commonwealth. So the 63rd governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky is with us today. Let's give it up, guys, for Governor Andy Beshear.
Well, thank you, Mike, and to everybody out there, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to get an opportunity to say hello today. I think we ought to start my press conferences that I do with the music that you all started with. I hope you're not recording because you had some great lip syncing from me here out of Frankfurt. Also, whoever wrote "My Mother Will Be Jealous" cracked me up and made me feel just a little old, but just a little. Folks, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of all of the work that you have done that qualified you for the GSA program. And what a program. A program that connects you with fellow artists, that celebrates the type of work that you do, that hopefully lifts you up, gives you some different platforms and some different experiences. And I gotta say, I'm really proud of the state for having Governor's School for the Arts, to recognize everything that the arts brings to making us better people. I've seen it personally, not just in my life, but I have a son who on one side is a baseball player and a pitcher and does it great, but that's not where he gets his confidence from. He gets his confidence from the musicals and plays that he does, both in his school and in his church. And I'm a little jealous because my dad can sing, my son can sing, and not me. But it's seeing the impact that it has on his life and the lives of all of us show how critical this is for our culture and for the soul of who we are as Americans and as Kentuckians. And I believe what is going to drive us moving forward in our economy is our creativity. We now live in a world where how we do as a state and as a country is based on the power of our ideas, on that next great idea, on challenging us to think differently and do things differently. And the creativity that you see, especially in the arts, translates directly into how we can be something more, maybe something even better moving forward. I think it also helps bring people together at times when sometimes people might want to have that mental block or that refusal to see something from another person's perspective. We're living in a time, and I'll talk about COVID-19 in a minute, but where we are seeing cries, demands for justice, for equity. And sometimes art has been the most effective way of helping people to see from someone else's eyes what a symbol might mean, how it might make someone feel, how walking into our state capitol and seeing the President of the Confederacy might make someone feel less. And so at these times, your ability to express yourselves, but also to help people hopefully see things from a different perspective, especially from sometimes a perspective of pain and of fatigue, of 400 years of oppression, how important that can be. I'm also really proud of you all and what you're showing that you're willing to do during COVID-19. You were living through history. Actually, it feels like we got about 100 years of history in about 6 months, and I feel that too. But your flexibility and just some of the energy that I see, it's incredible. It shows that you are resilient. And while this is going to be different than other GSAs, while you won't have the exact same experience, I bet you remember your experience and maybe even appreciate it more than just about anybody else. And my hope coming out of this, we now see, if we went back 8 months ago, we would say, oh, we're all just tied up in our screens and we don't connect and really connect to each other. We were wrong. Yes, people were looking at their screens and texting more and any of the rest, but we really appreciated the ability to see each other and be with each other. And hopefully that translates into how we treat each other as well. I think we got a chance to come out of COVID-19 as a stronger Kentucky, as a more educated. I think we can come out with a better economy than before, because this is going to be a national reset. So why don't we decide we don't want to be 42nd or 43rd in something? This is our time. Let's step up and let's be the Kentucky that you all deserve. And to get there, though, we are going to need your help and so many others. Let me recognize that each of you all are leaders. You are. And you don't get enough credit for it, probably because of your age. I remember that. But it's time we start paying attention. And I hope you know the people around you pay attention. They watch what you do. They watch your willingness to do this virtually. And hopefully your willingness to wear a mask and do everything else that we need. Now is a very critical time with COVID-19 cases increasing. Not wanting to be in Arizona, which is frankly terrifying what we're seeing, but a chance to be the amazing Kentuckians that we've been. And so in each and every one of your communities right now, I'm going to ask you for your help. I don't know if the governor's ever directly asked you for help. Here it is. I need you to model the very best behavior. And if you can, I want you to find joy in it. I want you to show people that we can do these things while still doing GSA, while still working with your medium, while still living our lives and connecting in different ways. This is a time when people are going to look to our best and brightest, which is what you all are and most creative. And if you're doing the right things because it's the right thing, not because I need you to, though I do, but because it's the right thing, then we can continue to be the great success story that Kentucky is. I'm so excited to see what all of your futures entail. I know that they will be incredible. I know that you are going to bring so many things to this Commonwealth and to this world. And all I'd ask is that just find some way in what you do to give back. And don't wait until later to start doing it. And even if it's little things, it's random acts of kindness. We always had those sayings. They look good if you put them on a poster. And right now they're needed more than ever. I will tell you that I've had days that I didn't know if I was going to get through. And I walk up and I see some chalk art and it just totally turns things around. It goes from how many people are we going to lose today to we're going to beat this thing because we have the strength to do it. Just the smallest things that we all do, never knowing who we're going to impact and how. So I am so excited for everything that you all are going to add. I look forward to the future, and I'm a fairly young governor, so I'm probably going to need a job from one of you someday. So I'm going to make sure I stay on your good side. I tell you what, I think I've got a few minutes, Nick. I'm happy to take some questions. If you'd like, this is your chance to interrogate the governor.
All right. So GSA, you heard it straight from Governor Beshear. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in. And Governor, thank you again for joining us. You're getting a lot of love in the chat feature today, and we really appreciate you being here.
I appreciate and love every single one of our Kentuckians, and I'm just looking. I can just barely see it on the side. And thanks for the energy. You guys are picking me up today, and I hope everybody loves. I'm in a ballroom.
Oh, and also you're definitely welcome to come lip sync with us anytime at GSA, Governor.
That I'd probably take you up on.
All right. So we have a lot of questions coming in, but I'll just give you a couple here. First off, something we talk about at GSA a lot is taking care of ourselves and just our mental health as artists. But obviously you're in a role where you deal with a lot of stress. So how do you take care of yourself as governor and as a human?
I'm probably not doing a good enough job at it. I'm really lucky in that by the time I ran for anything, I was married to an incredibly supportive woman and my wife, Brittany. I have 2 kids that I live for. I actually wouldn't have run for any of this but for them. They changed. They changed the way I viewed the world, and that the amount of money that I was going to make, or the comfort that we had, or whether a house had a pool, became a lot less important for me than what type of world that I could live for them, that I could leave for them. And now at my age with where they are, what we do right now is the world that they're going to grow up and live in. And I can't think of anything worth fighting for more than that. But man, it is hard to take care of yourself during COVID-19. I just, take time, get exercise. That's primarily what I try to do. Spend time with my kids, though. We're so far into it. I'm trying to get my son to throw baseball with me, and he doesn't want to, which breaks my heart. But try to find those things that you enjoy and do them. Music is one thing that I turn to. Admittedly, my whole family's singing Hamilton right now because it came out on Disney Plus. And again, I've got 2 kids that can sing, but Dad joins in even though he can't.
Are there any specific pieces of art or like songs or something that give you inspiration or strength, or if you're ever having a rough day or need some inspiration that you might plug into or think back on?
So I'm a big Broadway fan. I don't mind admitting that. I think I've seen Les Mis about 8 times. Got to spend a summer in London when I was in college. Got to see Rent with the original cast. That was pretty special. And so I enjoy that when we can do it. And now getting to watch them with my kids has been really really fun. Music's helpful. I like the things that I can run to and are a little more upbeat. I will tell you that since my kids started listening to music too, my tastes have changed more than a little. I never ever thought I'd have a Jonas Brothers song on a playlist, but admittedly, it's there.
That's great. When you think about the future of Kentucky and our GSA students, you spoke to this a little bit, but tell us a bit about why you think that creative people are important, and not just maybe necessarily in museums or in galleries and stages, but just in like the engaged citizenry of Kentucky.
Being creative is the best skill that you can have in any profession. I used to be a lawyer, and I had a good friend who was an oboe major at where I went at Vanderbilt, who also became an attorney. And the creativity to create that new argument, to connect 2 pieces of information that are out there to explain something in a different way. When you write a legal brief, it's a little bit of math. You want, A plus B to always equal C, but then it's a puzzle where you don't know if you have all the pieces or what order they go in. And it's your ability to think creatively and do things creatively that help you to pull all that together, to think about different ways to run government, about different ways to communicate to people right now for the things that we need. An ability to think critically and creatively drives our economy right now. And I mean, just think of creativity as every new idea that's blown up to something big. Amazon started with a creative idea. Oh, Lord, I hope somebody online will come up with an idea like that and do it right here in Kentucky, because we could use that business.
Actors Theater of Louisville has been doing some amazing online panels over the past couple months. And one of the questions I've heard asked in those panels, I think, is a really great question for specifically this time in 2020 when there is so much uncertainty. So in this year, 2020, with all the uncertainty that we have going on, what's at least one thing that you know for sure?
That we're going to have, well, first, I know that we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through this together. I'm contractually obligated to say that at every Zoom call. So we know we're going to get to the other side, and that's important to know. The question is, how much is it going to hurt to get there? And a lot of that depends on our sacrifice to protect each other and other people. But the other thing that we absolutely know is every time one of these major events, historic events, happens, the world looks different afterwards. And so the one thing that I know is we at least have an opportunity to build something and to do something better. Now that takes will. And there are folks that regardless of what it is, are opposed to change or uncertainty. And while uncertainty creates anxiety, I also hope that it creates opportunity, and there will be a chance for us in that opportunity. Now, how do I want to come out of it? I want to come out of it with Kentucky on a different trajectory. I want us to be focused on the economy of the future. We're talking about agriculture technology, building the largest greenhouse in North America in Moorhead in eastern Kentucky, and doing it with everything from scientists who will be working there every day to the rest to an aerospace industry that we're being created. Very, very cutting edge areas that we can be really excited about. I want to see a Kentucky where we're not saying every kid doesn't need to go to college. Sure, that's true, and not everybody's going to go, but we need a lot more people that are highly educated, and we ought to make that possible for everybody. You see the very best jobs, the highest wage earners, where we have the most educated groups. Let's lift everybody up. Let's make sure that the zip code that you're born into doesn't determine so much about your future. Let's address systematic racism and inequality. It's right now, we may have a better shot of doing that than ever before in our lifetimes. And you know what? Everybody can lead. We're at a point in time right now where our younger Kentuckians have a bigger voice, I think, than I've ever seen. And I think we can do it. I also see close the achievement gap between women and men. Absolutely. I have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. They are a year and 3 days apart. Don't do that, folks. But we still live in a world where women make less for the same work than men. That's infuriating. Got to change. We're working on it. State government right now. I got a breakdown of all our positions and who's making what gender. I got a breakdown of minority and women in their positions all throughout state government. We're going to start leading in our area. I mean, in 2020, how is it that women are making less money than men at the same job? Crazy, but time to fix it.
Absolutely. In GSA 2020, we can be a part of the change. We can be the change. Well, Governor Beshear, we appreciate your remarks and your presence here so much today. Do you have any final words for the class this morning?
Thank you. Thank you. This is the type of flexibility I never thought we would have to ask for our young adults, for GSA and others. And your willingness to bring energy and to buy in and to do what it takes is really special. Helps get me going. But I think the most special thing I could say to everybody out there is when I was 17 or 18, I don't think I'd ever saved anybody's life. And you have. Even just doing this means you've saved lives that are out there. That's something really special to be able to know and to carry with you through the rest of your life. And just by giving up certain parts of certain opportunities, you have put other people in front of yourself. And whether to you that's faith, that's one of the ways that I look at it, or morals, or just doing the right thing. I mean, you're living it. You're living it. And a lot of people talk it, and you're living it. And I'm really grateful. I also hope you have a wonderful time. You know, try to find joy in these days. And I think if you do, you come out of it in a much better place. I've really enjoyed this morning. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm surprised you haven't seen one of my kids dancing behind me. I'm pretty sure that they will crash one of these Zoom calls sometime soon, or the dog, which apparently knows zero rules. And I would not get a puppy right before a worldwide health pandemic. That's my last piece of advice. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Governor. Secretary Barry, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Just a big thanks for inviting me and for including me in on some of the learning sessions during the last couple of weeks. And a shout out to Kentucky Performing Arts, Kim Baker, the staff there, Nick, to you, to the board, and everybody who worked so hard to keep the arts relevant in our lives. I have a Louisville Theatrical Association, which is better known as the Broadway series, board meeting this afternoon, and I can't wait to tell them about the great things that are going on with GSA.
Thank you, Secretary. We appreciate you being here and for observing some of the classes with us over the past couple weeks, and thank you for your support.
Have a great day, everybody.
All right, thank you.